Ooh, buddy, this recession is coming and it's gonna hit the rich. Rich people are gonna be hurt probably as bad or worse than everyone else in this recession. I'm gonna explain exactly why in 1 second. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're gonna get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about black wealth and black economics every single day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day under one condition. The condition is that we are black first. Black first means we put our community at the top of our priority list. Black first means that we love our children and we break generational curses. We do not continue them. Black first means we educate our families at the highest levels. Black first also means that understanding black wealth, it's the same as having black power. If you agree with this philosophy, if you agree that black wealth is black power, put a hashtag B and the number one in the chat. Hashtag B1. Where my B1 people at? I see Gerald and Fastman and Reginald. And also, I need you guys' help. I'm out of town. I'm visiting my parents, and I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Can you give me a yes to let me know that my audio is coming through loud and clear? Just give me a quick yes, Nicole and Glitterati and Reginald. Just give me a quick yes to let me know you guys can hear me. And we're going to jump into the conversation. Okay, first of all, I also want to say thank you for the happy birthday wishes. Today was my birthday. I turned 51 today. And 51 officially means that I am definitely a grown ass man, which is why I told you guys about 6 years ago, I said, I ain't gonna go out here beefing with nobody on the internet. I've had people that tried to beef with me. I don't even know who they are. I don't pay any attention to that. Also, being a grown ass man means that I agree with the Farrakhan philosophy that as a black man, I am responsible for all the children in the black community. That means that all of the kids are our kids. That if you are a man or a leader in the community, all the real men stand up, all the real women stand up. We take responsibility for what's ours. So you ain't got to be biologically related to me for you to be my child. I love all of y'all and I want to see our people win. So anyway, with that being said, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Let's hop in here and talk about this. All right, so I was doing as I normally do every single day. I'm always doing tons of research on what's going on with the economy, what's going on with stock markets, what's going on with everything in the world, and one of the things that I came up on was an analysis that broke down. It was by a guy named Ed Yardini, who was talking about inflation in particular. He was talking about how the turn in the stock market is likely to occur when inflation hits a peak. That inflation, because it hasn't really peaked yet, that's one of the reasons why you can't assume that you've hit a bottom in the stock market. The stock market could keep going down. So even though this week, and I'm gonna tell you, this week starting Monday, you're probably going to see a little bit of a blip up in stock prices. Right now, it looks like Mondays, or sorry, not Monday. I apologize. Tuesday is going to be a roaring day. Like you're gonna, there's a good chance you could wake up, see lots of green in your portfolio, big dollars coming your way. I'm super happy for you if you invested, but don't get too accustomed to that feeling because that could be temporary and transitory. Could be an opportunity to shave some off the top, or whatever the case may be. I personally plan to actually sell some covered call options to kind of get to hedge my bets a little bit on this market because this market's acting a little bit strange. But anyway, one of the interesting things that came up in the Yardini analysis that I actually agreed with is that there was a discussion about how this recession is going to be different from other recessions. This is not going to be the same as the recession that you saw maybe back in '07, '08 when Obama came into office, or maybe in the early 2000s with with the tech bubble bursting, or in the 1990s. This recession is a little different because there is a change in how the Fed is operating and how the Fed is functioning right now. Basically, the Fed has always, for many, many years, and this is one of the biases that exists in America. I've always told you guys that America is a very biased country. The Fed has always taken care of the rich. The Fed has always had policies in place that have pushed up the value of assets. They have allowed for extremely cheap money by keeping interest rates ridiculously and insanely low. They have done things that involve increases in the money supply that have allowed the value of assets to just grow, financial assets. It was an easy bet. It was an easy bet. A lot of people have been preaching to you that cash is trash because they'd say, well, why would you sit on cash when you can put your money into an asset and then leverage yourself into the ground and make this easy money that comes from the ownership of financial assets? That was an easy bet back when the Fed was giving up money like an economic prostitute. They was giving it up to everybody. Everybody had a ride when it came to the Fed. It was easy to get money from the Fed. And just like that Bell Biv song, Bell Biv DeVoe song, remember that song? I thought it was me. I thought it was me that made that girl this way. Come to find out she's like that every day. Well, the Fed, that's what it is. A lot of people thought you think it's you. They thought it was them. They thought, oh my God, look at me. I'm such a smart financial advisor. I'm such a smart investor. Look at how much money I made in the stock market. Look at how much money I'm making in real estate. Look at how much money I'm making from all these crazy investments I'm making. And they think it's them. They think it's what in finance we call that idiosyncratic. They think it's idiosyncratic and specific to their amazing amount of expertise. When really the Fed was raining money on everybody. The Fed was making it easy for everybody to make money. It was Bell Biv DeVoe all over again. Now you're going into a different Bell Biv DeVoe song. You're going from I thought it was me to can you stand the rain? Because now we know everybody loves the sunny days, but now you're going to get some rain. Now you're going to get a slowdown. Now you're going to see what happens when you allow inflation to get out of control and the Fed has to raise interest rates like crazy to try to control inflation and wreck the economy in the process. And it's not going to be a smooth, easy landing. It's going to be a big pain. One of the interesting things about this recession is that this recession is really going to hit the rich. And why is it going to hit the rich? Well, because the rich have always had the greatest access to capital. They've always been the ones who could go to the bank, sign a piece of paper, get a $200,000 loan, and make another investment, or go borrow $3 million and go pump it into some crypto adventure, or pump it into real estate, or pump it into stocks. They have been able to go into private equity firms and SPACs and all these really speculative investments and literally just make easy money, and I remember that I knew a guy who actually had a PhD in finance like me. He was another finance professor. And I remember him during about '06, '07. And what him and his wife did was they would just buy one property after another. They would go buy something, and then when the value went up, they would take out the equity and then buy something else, and then take out the equity and buy something else. And they just kept doing this to the point where they had like 10 houses, but they only owned less than 10% of those 10 houses. Well, let me tell you what happened. Well, when the market crashed in real estate, he lost everything. Him and his wife lost every single thing that they had. Well, now real estate's different. Real estate, it's interesting. On one hand, I've always had an issue with the fact that we don't have the access to capital that we deserve as Black people. But one of the benefits of not having as much access to capital is it keeps you from putting yourself in these train wrecks that are about to occur right now. There was a guy, I forgot his name. He was an Asian guy. I got to look him up, but he was running a big family office, and he was known as a genius because he's making all his money. Well, he ended up losing $20 billion, and in fact, he might actually end up going to jail because he was so leveraged into the ground that when the stock prices moved against him, he got killed. So right now, what you're going to see basically is this. In this recession, you're going to see the Fed significantly shifting its policies. There's an old saying that says, don't bet against the Fed. You don't bet against the Fed. You don't bet against LeBron. You don't bet against Tom Brady. And the Fed is now shifting their direction. Before, the Fed made money easy to obtain. Before, the Fed inflated assets out of this world. And betting with the Fed meant going long in equities. It meant also taking on a lot of leverage. And that's how you made easy money. It seemed like it was easy money, like it was coming out of the sky. And that's because it was. Now the Fed is going in the opposite direction. The easy money's gone and the economy's shifting. Interest rates are going up. And so the people that are going to get hit hardest in this recession are going to be those people who took on way too much debt. Those people who didn't take satisfaction in owning a property. They would feel like suckers that they own the property. They say, well, why would you have all that money locked up in your property when you could go take out the equity and go buy 10 more properties? Well, this is why. This is why. And what I want you to understand is that debt has a bright side and debt has a dark side. So never let anybody talk you into feeling like you're a sucker because you like the feeling of paying off your debts. I love when me and my wife buy a car, you know what we do? We bust our butts to pay that car off. It's a fun little game. We bought a condo. My wife was like, let's pay off that condo. I said, okay, baby, let's pay off the condo. I wanted to own the damn thing. Yeah, sure. I mean, somebody could come up to me and say, "Oh, Boyce, you're not maximizing your money. You could be taking that money and investing it in 50 other places." And I said, "Yeah, but I like owning something because in economies like this, there is tremendous power and weight in ownership." And I told you, and it's not just a general economic idea. It's also a black economic idea. Black people got to own stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not a matter of saying that you can never take on debt. I think debt can be a beautiful thing, but debt must be used responsibly. Debt is like a drug. Drugs should not be overdosed. And you had a lot of people that were ODing on drugs because they had infinite confidence in their own investing ability. And now some of those people are getting hammered. They're not going to tell you, but believe me, those people taking on all that debt back in 2018, 2019 are really feeling the pain right now. Now, do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, share, subscribe. And I want to remind you guys, I've been talking to you guys about the creation of a program, a training camp I wanted to do on how to make money and generate income by writing covered call options. I spent 2 years going through this process and developing a model, and I call it the Prime model. That stands for Passive Recurring Income Machine. And basically, it comes from writing covered call options, knowing how to pick the right stocks, knowing how to figure out how much income you can generate from that stock. And it's really, really relevant for this particular economy. So if you'd like to join that program, we start July 7th. You can go to boycewatkins.com. Just go to the top of the page, and there's a link where you can sign up. And if you sign up before June 21st, you can actually get 48% off. But that discount ends June 21st at midnight. So feel free to join us. We're going to start July 7th. That's going to be the next edition of the Black Wealth Bootcamp, and it's going to focus solely on the use of stock options to generate income from your portfolio and to use options safely. A lot of people use options in a very risky way. I don't take risks when it comes to my family's income. I actually use options to reduce my risk so I can get that money in the bank and have that cash flow on hand. So feel free to take a look. It's at boycewatkins.com. All right. So anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. So let's finish talking about this week. Okay. So this week, you've got a couple of headwinds in the stock market. One, the Fed is going to make some announcements. I think the chairman is going to testify before Congress. That's going to be really interesting. That's going to move the markets. Believe it. Believe me. Also, one of the interesting things I read as well was that the real estate market is starting to show some signs of weakness. Now, but what's interesting though, this is a good thing, is that the weakness in the market isn't what it was in 2007. In 2007, you had ridiculousness happening in the market. You had people getting loans with no income and no paperwork. You had people, waitresses making $8 an hour buying $500,000 houses. You had a lot of ridiculous chaos in the market, a lot of adjustable rate mortgages, millions of them that were out there that killed people when the economy turned left. Well, now you don't have that as much anymore because after the last recession, they put a lot of regulations in place that, unfortunately, that made it much harder to get a mortgage. If you try to get a mortgage in the last decade, you know what I'm talking about. It's so much paperwork, so much bureaucracy, so much red tape, it gets on your nerves. But the benefit is that now you have much lower default rates than you did before. People have much more equity in their homes than they did before. Now you have far fewer adjustable rate mortgages than you had before. So even though the real estate market's going to cool off, which it really needs to cool off because home prices are just way too damn high. They just got ridiculous. It became a complete seller's market. I talked to my buddy the other day who came to my birthday party, Nathan, and Nathan and his wife, they flipped houses for a living. And I said, "You still flipping houses?" He said, "Man, I can't do it anymore because it's a seller's market. Everything you're trying to buy, the prices have doubled and tripled and all that. So that market's going to cool off." But the good thing is that it doesn't look like it looks like it's going to cool off, but it's not going to fall off. It's not going to fall off a cliff. It's just going to kind of slow down a little bit and give people a chance to kind of get in there. And I'm always a big believer in real estate. But let me just tell you this. I'm going to tell you the truth. I talked to my daughter the other day about real estate, and she was talking about getting into flipping houses and starting businesses and all that. And I said, before you do that, honestly, I would take the capital that you have and actually sell covered call options. I think that's a more consistent, easier, simpler way to make money without all the hassle of filling out all the paperwork and worrying about tenants and all that. I own real estate. I'm glad I own it. I'm going to keep owning it. I'm going to buy some more, but real estate is actually third or fourth on my list in terms of ways to make money. One of the things about making money that you want to understand is that there's at least three different levels, right? There's that first level you start off with as a kid, where somebody tells you that if you want to make money, you go get a job, and then some white man writes you a check. Okay, that's level one. Most of us were raised in that. And then there's level two that says you go become an entrepreneur and you start a business and you still work yourself into the ground, but at least you're the boss and maybe you make a little more money. Okay. And then there's level three. I said there's three levels. I meant to say four. Level three is when you learn delegation. You learn how to manage relationships with other people. This is why relationship management is so important, because then you can hire people that will come in and work for you, and you can spread the labor. You can spread the work. You let people specialize, and then you can get 10 times more done because you got all these people in your organization that are working on your behalf. That's a beautiful place to be as well. In fact, I think every child, every black child in our community at an early age needs to learn how to manage relationships, and they also need to learn how to delegate, and they need to understand systems. If they understand systems and delegation, they then have that ability to go out and form teams and partnerships and make things work for themselves and other people. Now, the fourth level, though, here's the fourth level of making money. This is where you get, when I think when you get about 40 to 50 years old, you start realizing, hey, wait a minute, okay. I was an employee and I worked my butt off and I did okay, and I did. I made six figures, and then you're like, okay. Then I started a business and I did even better than that. I was working harder, but I was making more money. At that point, I probably made my first million. Right then, you got to level three where you got teams and delegation and all that, and that was cool, but there's lots of meetings, lots of bureaucracy, and then even though building teams is kind of cool, sometimes you get tired of all these crazy personalities and all the stress of it all. So so that's level three, but that'll make you some money, but it is a lot of work and a lot of irons in the fire you got to balance. Then there's level four. Level four, y'all, is the level that I really think you should aspire to at some point in your life. Level four is where the rich people live. Level four is where truly wealthy people live, where they earn their income in a very passive way. They make investments. They make investments that are passive, not active. They don't buy into businesses where they got to show up and do 50 hours a week of labor. They buy enough into the business to be relevant, but not so much that they actually have to do anything. Also, things like what I mentioned to you guys earlier about like writing covered call options based on the capital that you have, or renting out the capital that you have. Those are little things that wealthy people will do, where you are actually, where your money is working for you, right? So you spend your whole life, bust your butt, go make your money, build your bread, build your capital base. But then when you get older, I want you to focus on learning how to make money without doing any work at all. I know that sounds sacrilegious. I know that sounds crazy. I know that today, the time I'm doing this recording is Juneteenth, where where that's, if there's any day that exemplifies how hard Black people work, it's Juneteenth, right? Well, I want you to have a real Juneteenth. I want you to know what the real Juneteenth looks like. Juneteenth was a day where we found out that we were free, because we didn't know that we were free, right? We found out we were actually free, and before that we thought we were slaves. Well, I want you to get a real Juneteenth. Your Juneteenth probably hasn't occurred yet, where you actually realize that you actually are freer than you think. There are more opportunities available than you think. There's a world out there that's available to you that you never even processed and thought about. So I want you to spend your life aiming for a real Juneteenth. And I'm gonna tell you this little secret: white folks ain't gonna give it to you. They're not gonna give it to you. You have to give that Juneteenth to yourself. So that's just my 2 cents. And I will, just, and I stand on that. That's my life, my journey, my thoughts. And as you know, finance is my background, so I think about these things a lot. Now I'm looking at some of your questions. That's a good question, Gerald. Gerald says, if we did the options masterclass, should we take this new course? Yes, Gerald. This is something I've never taught before. I've never taught the specifics on exactly how I go about selecting the stocks that I write the cover calls on, how I measure the risk levels, how I make sure I calibrate the portfolio in a specific way to protect my capital. I take you guys specifically through the steps that I use to generate options income from my family. So this does not cover buying options. We have a masterclass for that. The stock options masterclass.com. If you want to go take a look at that. This is not all about different option strategies like straddles and strangles and iron condors. This is about that specific goal of selling options, getting on the sell side. Remember that whenever there's a stock option out there, somebody that bought it had to buy it from somebody. Whenever there's a buyer, there's always a seller. And a lot of people only know about options on the buy side. They only know how to buy an option. They don't realize that in order for you to buy that option, somebody had to sell that to you. And the buyer is typically taking on more risk The seller is offloading risk, right? So what I do with a lot of my stock is I will sell the options on those stocks because I don't want to have all the risk. I want to get some of the cash flow in my pocket. And there are specific stocks that you can search out based on specific criteria that will give you the highest income. So that's what the goal is. You can feel free to take a look. This is not high pressure or anything like that, but just go to boycewatkins.com. It's right there at the top. Feel free to take a look at it. And like I said, in everything in the Black Business School, we have a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee. So if you're not happy for any reason, you can let us know. Now, Tanya's asking, can you repeat the 4 levels? I'm going to repeat them real quick, but also I encourage you, just rewind the video and you can also rehear them in the original form. The 4 levels of making money I have found is level one, working for other people, which most of us started out on level one. Level two is learning how to start that first business where you become a one-man show. You're doing all the work. You're working your butt into the ground, but at least you have freedom. And maybe if you're lucky, you're making a little bit more money. Level three is when you learn teams and delegation. A lot of people thought I went left when I started talking a lot about relationships, but they don't understand that if you manage relationships well, you can build teams well. When you build teams, you can get more done. A team can always do more than an individual. Wealth is a team sport. Dr. Claude Anderson told y'all that. Wealth is a team sport. Most people that have wealth in this country operate as a team, as a crew, as a unit, as a gang, as a family. So if you're out here trying to do it all by yourself and you're caught up in this, culture of black men don't need black women don't need black men, black people don't need black family, well, then you're crippling yourself. You're literally trying to run the 100-meter dash with one leg and you hopping along and you get in last place and you don't know why. Well, it's because the people that are beating you have 8 legs. You're literally a one-legged person trying to run against an 8-legged octopus. So ultimately that's level three. Teams, systems, and relationships. That's how people make millions of dollars. The fourth level is where you get to the point of passive income. That's where you make investments, you plant your capital in spaces where you just make money because you have provided the capital. That's the Warren Buffetts of the world. Warren Buffett is 91 years old. Why in the world can Warren Buffett at 91 years old make more money in an hour than most people can make in a 5-year period? How is it that Warren Buffett at 91 years old can make more money in a month than most people can make in 100 lifetimes? How does he make $200 million in a month? It's not from working. It's not like he worked extra hours and worked a double shift. No, he makes the money because he provides the capital. That's the highest tier. That's the penthouse, and really, I hope that if you're smart about your kids and you're really getting your kids ready for the future, I hope you start them at the penthouse as opposed to doing what a lot of our parents did, which is started us in the basement where we had to climb up to the penthouse. All right. So anyway, let's see here. Let's see. Phyllis says, Dr. B, is this class okay for no capital? I think you want to have a little bit of capital if you want to directly apply things. Now, there are ways where you can apply them in a simulation kind of environment. But having a little bit of capital helps. So if you can at least buy, say, 100 shares of a stock that's, say, a little bit less than $10. Let's say an $8 stock, buy 100 shares. That allows you to sell covered call options. So maybe like a few $100 in capital would be enough to get started. But even then, internalizing the ideas can at least give you a framework that you can use once you obtain the capital that you need in order to make the move you like to make. Or also, one of the included components in the class is you actually get free access to a lecture series I did on how to use investment clubs to form your family bank. And that's where I show you how to get together with your relatives, form a good investment club, pull your capital and make your moves. So what you could then do is take what I teach you in this class, which a lot of people don't really know how to do it at this level, because I'm actually applying option pricing theory that I learned in my PhD program. And I can explain it to you in a way that even an 8-year-old can understand. So it's not, I want to simplify it for you, but you could take that framework, get with your family, pull together $1,000, $2,000 or more, and make this move. This is real. This is not theory. This is not me talking about something that I just read in a book. This is what I do with my own family. I do this with my daughter. And so if you're interested, feel free to take a look. You can go to boycewatkins.com. The link is right there at the top of the screen when you get to my website, and you can feel free to join us. We start on July 7th. We're going to meet for 4 weeks, July 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th. And also, you get free access to my stock options masterclass, which is a $399 value. And also you get access to the training series I did on forming a family bank through investment clubs for your family. That has a $199 value. So you get several $100s in free bonuses. The course is $499, but if you sign up by tomorrow night, you can get 48% off, which drops your price from $499 to $259. So we made this a really strong offer for those of you that want to learn and want to jump into the cohort. And again, there's a 100% money back guarantee. I will not, I do not, I will never ask you to ever invest in anything if you're not going to be happy and you're not making far more money in your life after the fact than you were making before. Okay. And am I going to teach the course live? Yes, Tania, I'm going to teach it live. So the first time I deliver a program, I do it live, and then after that, the recording's available. And that's the plan. And I've been thinking about this for 2 years, so I'm actually very excited to finally be in a position where I want to lay it out there. I've literally been sitting on this for 2 years in terms of tweaking the model and trying different things and testing out theories and putting together the model. So the model, the acronym that I came up with was PRIME, which is Passive Recurring Income Machine. And that's literally what it is. And it does work. It's what I do with my own family's money. And, you can feel free to check it out. All right. So thank you, Jarrell, for the endorsement. I appreciate it, brother. And feel free to come by. Yeah, I think 250 is a fair price, Jarrell, even though I know I could charge thousands of dollars. And I know people do that. People have programs out here for a lot of money. I don't try to charge as much as I could charge. I know the value of my expertise and my brand and all that. But what we do in the Black Business School is we want to make sure that we are affordable for anybody that wants knowledge. So we're not going to charge you $10,000 the way they did in college. We're not going to charge you thousands of dollars like some of these other people that are online. They'll say, "Oh, $8,000 for the year," and I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm just saying that we charge the amount of money that we need in order to pay our staff and to pay our expenses. That's it. Once we know that we're making enough money to pay all the Black people that work for us, at that point, we don't look and say, well, how much more could we charge? We just say, okay, good. The community's taking care of us. We're taking care of the community, and we deliver. Our customer support team, if you haven't tried it, is absolutely extraordinary. They are award winning. They are kick butt. We've received awards from Teachable. The Teachable is the platform that we operate on. Teachable's given us awards because the Black Business School has been so extraordinary in that space. We have 160,000 students worldwide, and about 90% of them, when we ask them, did you learn more from us than you learned from your university that you went to college in? And some of them are $100,000 in debt from college and stuff like that. And 90% of them say, yeah. So we are good. We are really good at what we do. And we're not just good at wealth. We focus specifically on Black wealth. That's what makes us unique. We are the world's leading experts on Black wealth, on the racial wealth gaps, on all the generational curses that keep us from building wealth. Everything that slows us down, like all the little issues that Black people deal with that other people don't deal with, we are masters at sort of sorting through that. And for example, little things like like growing up with bad credit because your mama put the phone bill in your name when you were 4. Like these are things that Black people deal with that other people don't deal with. So our economic models have to be different from everybody else's. So that's what we focus on in the Black Business School, and I'm super proud of it. And I hope you guys will join us. We start July 7th, but that discount, that 48% discount, that early bird ends tomorrow night. It ends June 21st at midnight. And so if you go to boycewatkins.com, it's right there, and all the bonuses add up to $700 or something like that. So that's already beyond the $259 that the program would cost. So feel free to join us, and everything that you get in the program is yours for life. All the recordings are yours, all the slides are yours, all that's yours. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. God bless you. Thank you for hearing me out, and I'll check back in with you tomorrow as we see what happens with the market. But like I said, tomorrow you're going to see a little bit of a pop. It should be a good day, but just be mindful because there's a lot happening right now, and I want to make sure you guys are ready for that. All right, so boycewatkins.com is where you can go if you want to join us for the options income program that starts July 7th. And I hope you guys have a good night. I hope you hit the thumbs up and share subscribe button on your way out, and I will see you soon. Take care. Peace.